The question is, what is life and how do we lead this life? So life is an opportunity given to each one of us to come in and recognize and experience who we truly are. That is to say, we come here to experience our truth. This truth is known to us before we come here, but the memory is taken away from us. And we need to come and remember and learn again that this is our truth. And why it has to be learned here is because, interestingly, when we come here, the environment in which we come, this truth is not known. And environment in which we are born and we are raised actually is living the exact opposite of what the truth of life is. Because we come into a world which is accustomed to living and based on the external stimuli, it's based on external reactions, based on that the external world is a reality. Therefore, the mind is the king and the mind controls everything. And life is based on how much you know, how much you understand, how much you're chasing success. You need to develop a judgment, you need to develop your opinions so that you can negotiate with life. And so therefore we come into a scene or a scenario where mind is the boss. And we get lost and we believe that that is true because that is how the whole environment, including your parents, your society, your schools, universities, that is what they teach. And so therefore exposed to that as a truth. And therefore the journey becomes long and difficult and interesting also, because through this, you have to experience your truth. And the truth lies within us. It has nothing to do with what's happening outside of us. And to experience that truth of ourselves, we need to go within. We need to become still. We need to go silent so that we can experience that there is another truth which is inside of us, which is wanting to express itself, but is not being heard in the chatter and our constant reaction to the events in the world outside. How does that happen? How do we get exposed? How do we know that inside what we're experiencing may be revelations of the truth? Something inside, deeper inside, is trying to communicate with us. So we're confused, we don't understand. We just leave it as part of what we call as intuition, gut feel, coincidences, serendipity. We create these kind of names, but we continue to struggle with the world outside. But there is something inside which causes dissatisfaction, which causes restlessness. We don't know where it is coming from. We think it's coming from people. That dissatisfaction is coming from there, from our relationships, from our experiences. But it has nothing to do with that. There is actually a call coming from within. So therefore, how do we negotiate? And that's the world outside, and we are confused and we don't have clarity of who we are and what life is about. So then, slowly we start to seek something that we don't know. And we get attracted to the spirit. We try to learn about the spirit. And we come to some teachers, some gurus who can show us the path, who can, throw a light, which might just connect with us, which might just stir things within us. And therefore, we go on this search. And so therefore, we start getting disconnected, detached from the external world, and we start seeking. At this point of time, we know that we are seeking, but we don't know what we are seeking. And but we just know that there is a restlessness that needs to be addressed. You're looking for some peace, and you're looking for some connection, something that connects within. And so therefore, a teacher becomes very important who can guide us. And many times we move from teacher to teacher, because from each teacher we pick up a few things. They connect to us. Some of the things that the teacher says do not connect with us. And we learn, because every teacher has something to offer to us. They come in our lives, we learn, we grow, we evolve, and we keep still seeking till we know we've come home and we've started to experience the truth of ourselves. So therefore, that is an internal process. It takes over and it starts to take us to what we are seeking. So what are we seeking? We are seeking a point where there is no restlessness inside, where we are in that constant state of awareness of what's happening inside. We are at peace with it. where it is not reacting to anything, where it is looking at the external world without any judgment, without any involvement, without any participation, and which is seeing everything as a drama or as passing clouds, and which is seeing that everything comes and goes, and understands that everything in the external world is transient in nature and nothing is permanent. So therefore, one understands that there is no need to attach any kind of an importance to what people say and what people think. So there is no question of a blame or likes and dislikes, because you know that this is the nature of this world. Everything is momentary. We react to it when the mind gets involved because there is an ego in us which reacts. If that rests back into the inner space and the mind is withdrawn, then it does not react. And you know that those words are not important, those opinions are not important, because the truth does not change. It is eternal and the truth remains. So you allow people to say and do without getting impacted by it, because you know that it is temporary and it is coming from their own lack of understanding. You don't have to correct them, you don't have to react to that. You have to silently smile and just say, let it be, let it go, let it pass. If you are feeling something inside, then forgive, but know that is nothing to do with the truth, and the truth is only known to you, and it is within you. It's something personal to you, and that connection, once it's established, it doesn't come and go because it remains. So even when we have our eyes closed, it is still there. Even when we have our eyes open, it is still there. When our eyes are closed, we are withdrawn in an inner world where nothing else matters. And you know that there is an emptiness inside, there is a hollowness inside, and that you surrender to and you feel very blissful. But when you open your eyes and you get into the field of action of karma, because this body cannot survive without karma, it has to perform its duties. While doing all that action, actually that emptiness never goes anywhere. And that emptiness comes from that detachment. You performing your actions, you doing what you need to do, but you're withdrawn. But even in that withdrawal, the awareness is so high that the actions come out perfect. So you are performing your act, but you are not attached to the act. And you understand what that emptiness really means. That emptiness expresses itself as full involvement, but without being attached to anything. And you realize that this is how the inner truth, the inner being, the inner self expresses itself. As the inner self starts getting clearer, it becomes peaceful, the outer reality starts to manifest in perfection. Only clear people can do that. And when the process becomes inside out, we start living the inner reality now outside. We start projecting this inner reality outside. And we experience that inner truth, that inner feeling of peace, that inner feeling of contentment, this inner feeling of not being involved and yet being joyous, that makes you enthusiastic towards life, is the truest expression of love. And that love which keeps giving without getting attached, which keeps expressing without getting involved, is the true love. And this is our truth. And the more we experience it, more we realize that this is who we truly are, and this is what we have come to experience. And then as you get into that, you want to share it with others. You want to express it more and more. And slowly, everybody around starts to come around it. And they will not come in one go. They will come, they will receive, they will react, they will disappear, they will come back. So people will come in your life, people will be there for a while, take what they need to, and then they will not connect with it, they will disappear. Some others will come, they will connect, they will disappear. And because as we said, remember about the teachers, we've had different teachers in our life, come, go, move on. But the ones who find their final resting place, they stay. So this is the nature of samsara, this is the nature of this world. And to be able to live this reality without getting attached and without getting involved. Detachment does not mean that we run away into a forest and we leave everything what we have. Detachment means learning to enjoy all that has been given to us, all that is available to us at this point of time, without expecting anything out of it, without giving it a name or a relationship, without giving it any kind of box, any kind of boundary. It has to be boundaryless. It has to be free flowing, knowing that any minute anything can change. Anything can change in any moment because that's how we are moving. But as long as we hold that love in our heart, as long as that love has space for everybody in this universe, as long as it's inclusive, the quality and tenor of life becomes sweeter and sweeter. And that sweetness is that bliss, that ananda that we talk about. That ananda, which is of highest nature, comes from our experience of the highest truth. That consciousness or that God or that supreme energy that we call as divine love is the real truth. When we are aware of that truth all the time, when we hold that truth with us all the time, then whatever we do in our life becomes blissful, becomes ananda. It is that ananda, it is that higher divine bliss which comes from this knowledge, which comes from this experience of the higher truth, of living that truth, is what life is about. And it doesn't matter what you produce in the end. It does not matter that whether there is a big spiritual center that comes out of it, or whether it means traveling the world, whether it means having hundreds of people with you. It does not matter. Because what are we doing? We are not interested in that. What we are interested is in speaking and spreading the truth of ourselves. Because we are not making an effort. It is who we are. It is coming from the source. It is coming from the truth of our being. And that will attract who it needs to attract, because whatever needs to be known, whatever needs to be experienced by people, they will attract it in their lives. And know that all heaviness comes from the mind. And never give up your path, because that's the only goal. Everybody, knowingly or unknowingly, is moving towards this goal. And never use negative vocabulary. Do not close your path, because whatever you utter, whatever words you say, have the power to either open things for you or to close them forever. Be open, be aware, be in acceptance, and just flow with this life without having any expectation of what the next moment is going to bring. Because if you have an expectation, it will bring pain or it will bring joy, and you will be caught in the cycle of likes and dislikes. But if you have no expectation, no anticipation, then life is an opportunity to become joyous at all times, because you're seeing everything as an adventure. Everything is transient. Every moment is an opportunity to express your truth, to express your beingness. And if you can live your life like that, if you can be in that, and living life in a moment-to-moment basis, you can express the highest truth of yourself. You can be in that state of consciousness, which is the reality called God, which is divine, which is that pure love. And that is all that you need to do. What has to happen will happen, because all is as is meant to be. I hope everyone one day can live this. And this is ascension, and this is where we move into the higher dimensions, into the higher reality. We'll have to do it ourselves. We have to walk that path. We have to move into that light. Just because the times change, we will not automatically happen. So when heaviness is coming, when challenges are coming, know that they are taking you there. Don't give up. Know that it is your gateway to where you need to be. Just flow with it, watch it, let it go, and move resolutely on that path. Never let go of your path. Never meander from it. And soon you will know and you will experience that you're already there. Let the flow carry you, and let your mind not make you meander and veer away from that, because ultimately you'll have to come back. So stay on course. You are being guided by the heart. Surrender the mind, and to surrender we need to have faith. So may everyone experience that higher truth, and may everyone walk courageously on this path of love and light. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.